All right, so today's video is going to be just a little bit different. Today we are talking about a very, very bizarre story, but this is America, so it's not that crazy, I guess. But today we are going to be talking about a Florida man who happens to be Jewish who saw two other men who were literally Jewish vacationing here in America from Israel, and he thought they were Palestinians. And so he opened fire on them in an attempted murder because he thought they were Palestinians. That's literally the only reason he said that he opened fire on them. We're going to look first here at some local news coverage, just to give you a brief overview of exactly what happened, and then we're going to talk about a couple different things. I'm going to try and cover as much ground as I possibly can in as little time as I possibly can. So without further ado, here is some local news coverage of exactly what went down.
Now to a story you'll only see on Local 10. Two men were shot at more than a dozen times while driving on Miami Beach. Tonight, we hear from those victims. Local 10's crime specialist Bridget Matter is live on Miami Beach with the exclusive. Bridget.
And it's truly a miracle that these two were not seriously hurt. They say that while they were driving, they were randomly attacked, a man shooting off as many as 17 shots at their car.
This is the mugshot for 27-year-old Mordecai Braffman. He's accused of shooting at two men in Miami Beach Saturday evening.
There was a truck passing next to him.
Yeah, they know.
Right on him.
Boom, 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 boom.
Then he
boom.
just
Dead
randomly
me.
started shooting it.
Ari Rive was shot in the shoulder. He spoke to us with help from his cousin to translate. He says he and his father were randomly attacked while driving off Alton Road, the two visiting from Israel. Video shows their car riddled with bullets. Police say 17 shots were fired.
He put the window down from the driver's seat and just blasted them.
Ari was hit in the shoulder. The bullet still lodged in his body following the attack.
After they took off, he tried shooting them from the back of their car. Bullet went through right next to him, right next to his ear, because he was the driver. And he was holding his dad's head because he thought the dad got shot in the head.
Surveillance video shows the men trying to get help from a nearby business. The suspect was quickly arrested. In the arrest form, it says Braffman told detectives he saw two Palestinians and shot and killed both. The victims and the suspect did not know one another. Father and son say it was a miracle neither were seriously hurt.
And yeah, they don't really say anything else, but the first thing I want to say, just the fact that this man, Mordecai Braffman, again, the perpetrator in this situation, the one who opened fire on these other Jewish people, he said to the cops, "I saw two Palestinians and shot and killed them both." And this is something we're going to talk about just a little later in the video, but the fact that he was so nonchalant in saying, "Yeah, I saw two Palestinians and I fucking murdered them," is really, really disgusting. I mean, it's one of the most disgusting things you could possibly conjure up. It's absolutely just insane. That is one of the most insane things that I have ever heard. Very, very disgusting. It's not surprising, but it is very, very disgusting. And so before we get into some more about this specifically, I want to go over something that is equally as disgusting as what Mordecai Braffman, the perpetrator, said, and that is a post on Facebook from one of the victims of this shooting. One of the victims posted this post on Facebook, and this is a screenshot that I'm looking at on Twitter from a user named Horror Hijabi. They posted this screenshot, and it says, "My father and I went through a murder attempt against anti-Semitic background. They tried to murder us in the heart of Miami, but the creator of this world is with us, so he didn't go. I want to say thank you to everyone for their support, and it is not taken for granted with Israel live. Death to the Arabs." Death to the Arabs. So the victim in this shooting literally is saying the exact same thing, pretty much, literally the exact same thing that the perpetrator told the police the reason that he even tried to do this. They literally are both saying the same thing. And again, this guy, Mordecai Braffman, is Jewish, okay? He's also from Florida, so you know it checks out because you know it's Florida. But he literally, one of the victims literally is saying the exact same thing that the perpetrator said, and it's more than disgusting. It is just completely heinous, completely horrible, and I think, and again, this is something I wanted to talk about. A lot of this has to do with the media, worldwide media coverage of not only what's happened since October 7th, but just overall the Middle East and groups like the Palestinians, how they are covered in worldwide media. They are stigmatized so hard by so many big outlets and so many big voices. Okay, I mean, I've made many videos talking about people that have said horrible shit or very, very nasty, horrible coverage from big outlets about Palestinians. But even when you look at this story specifically, like if you look up "man shoots two Israelis" or you search Mordecai Brafman's name, you know, however you want to Google it or look it up, most of the headlines are pretty fucking terrible, right? There's a Guardian article here, and the title of the article is "Jewish Man Mistakes Two Israeli Tourists for Palestinians and Opens Fire on Them in Miami," and it's like the media, again, around the world, with the exception of very few, and there are some outlets that I do talk about and do cover that I think do a really, really good job, a very, very good job at showing exactly what, not only what Israel has been doing to the Palestinians since well before October 7th, but how, you know, voices in the media space have stigmatized the Palestinians. But it just seems so normal, right? It's just like all these media outlets and all these voices just are like, yeah, well, this is a normal thing, you know? And that's what brings me to one of my other points here. This is also a Guardian article. Again, you know, the Guardian is 50-50 for me. Anti-Muslim hate in U.S. rises since October 7th, but advocates praise community resilience. And they briefly talk about here how the Council on American Islamic Relations has said from January to June of this year, which it was last year, they vetted almost 5,000 complaints of alleged Islamophobia. That's an increase of more than 2/3 compared to the same period the previous year. And they also said this is not the community that was subjected to payback after 9/11. It's much stronger now, okay? This problem is only going to get worse and worse. And when you have media coverage like this, when you have these Zionists acting like this, I lost my train of thought. I apologize, but it's just, this is not going to get better, in my opinion, before it gets much worse. And I hate saying that. I hate saying that because it's already much worse, right? I was going to go over a few more things here. I was going to go over, talk about, some Florida gun laws and stuff, and, you know, why I think that we need stricter gun laws here in America. I've talked about that many times here on the channel. I mean, I wanted to just bring up Florida does not require background checks for the sale of a firearm between private parties, but county governments have the authority to require background checks and a 3 to 5 day waiting period for private firearm transfers. So basically, Florida does a pretty shitty job again. If it's between private parties, if you're doing a private firearm transfer, you can give a gun to anybody you want, right? Anybody in Florida can get a gun. Anybody in Florida can get a gun, and when we have gun laws like that, it leads to things like this, right? Again, you know, I know this video was kind of all over the place. I wanted to talk a little more in depth about it, but I feel like I said that everything that I really needed to say. With that being said, if you guys like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press the little bell to turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload. And please tell me down below what you thought. If you have already heard the story, what you thought. Let me know what you thought of my coverage, and I will see you guys in the next one.